Of course, shout out to Hardees, our primary sponsor here on ESPN Cleveland for The Drive. Andy Morris here along with Jim Gum and Jacob Mason. And real quick, before we dive into what we've got on deck for the day, of course, at 5:40, Drew Akins, head football coach of Walker Valley, will be joining the show for a quick interview post-practice up there at Walker Valley. But, Jacob, I believe you've got some breaking news for us out of Knoxville.
Yeah, Tennessee's going to extend Josh Heupel an extra year that's going to tie him to the university through 2030. So, a lot of... we can talk speculation all the time with ADs, the AD at Oklahoma stepping down and his ties there and the rift between, I think Josh is happy in Knoxville. I think he's made a home for himself. He's extended it, which just all that does really is make it more difficult for another university to kind of come in and snag him up. So good on him. I think they got a great ball coach up there in Knoxville, and they're going to extend him another year. That's going to take us in to 2030.
If I was going to ask you guys, and Tennessee's been playing football for a long, long time, where do you think he ranks as far as all-time wins as far as coaches? They've had a lot of coaches, like top 20,
What
top
is
10.
this, year 5 for him?
Started in, what year did he start? 2021? 2021 at Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Pruitt was there in 2020.
So this is year 4 then?
This will be your. He's done it. He's coached for 4 years.
And
He's
this
got
will be
4 years
5.
in it.
Okay, that's what I was
Where do you
thinking.
think he ranks all time as far as total wins?
I would imagine, just because of the success he's had, I'm going to say that he's in the top 5.
I was going to say top. I was going to say top 15, but I would be willing to go top 12.
He's number 7.
Okay.
Of course, General Neyland is first, 173. Philip Fulmer, 152. Johnny Majors, 116. Bill Battle, who was the coach when the first time I saw Tennessee play, was 50, he's number 4. He's got 59 wins. Bowden Wyatt, Doug Dickey, and then Josh Heupel, number 7.
Not bad.
And he's moving up the ranks pretty darn fast.
He's already passed Butch Jones and Derek Dooley.
Oh Lord! Yeah, he did that with his eyes closed. That wasn't a hard. That was
And
not
Lane-
hard to
and
do.
Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin was just there the 1 year, but that's amazing. A program that's been around for 120 years or plus, and he's 7th already. And he's not an old guy. He's got a lot of years ahead of him.
Just think they could have taken that money that year they just tacked on and just kept their quarterback and avoided a whole lot of controversy.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in what you just said there. I mean, seriously. So
That's hilarious.
that is.
But I'm obviously being a little facetious when I say that. I think it's worked out for the absolute best for the University of Tennessee and Coach Heupel to have Joey Aguilar as your starting quarterback. I feel like when you talk about God having a plan, I think this was in the script for Joey Aguilar to have this job. And you know what? UCLA, good luck with the Iamaleava family. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're in good hands. And, one thing that I think if the new quarterback can do, if he can limit turnovers, his ceiling is high. It's really high in my opinion. I'm high on him. The one thing that people want to say is, well, he turns the ball over a lot, and that's a big problem. We talked about we talked to Coach Akins today in our coaches show, and he was saying anytime you can win the turnover battle, turnovers are a big part of a football game. But to me, that's kind of a fixable thing. That is a coachable thing, and if you can put your team in good positions, boy's got an arm. He's not afraid to sling it.
Put me down as a doubting Thomas. Or say I'm from Missouri. Show me. I'm not gonna. I
like what you did there, Jim.
I'm not gonna say anything. I want to see him play in a game against a quality opponent in Syracuse. I'll make a judgment on Joey next Tuesday. By the way, we won't have a show on Monday, but on Tuesday when we come back here. Then I'll give you my opinion of Joey Aguilar. I
like what you did there with the show me state.
Show me state. Yeah,
I'm
from Missouri. Show me.
I wanted to point that out in case any of our listeners and Jacob weren't aware of what you were doing there.
Well, geography. I love geography.
I'm right there with you.
But no, I'm not going to say anything good or bad. I'm like I said, I'm a doubting Thomas. I want to wait till after they play. But I am excited about. Listen, I'm excited about this Tennessee Syracuse game. I think was 11.5? That's the last point spread I saw. Tennessee 11.5 point favorite. So, yeah, I mean that should show you that there is some respect for Syracuse there, but Tennessee has the deeper roster. We know that.
Well, we want to know what our listeners think, and all you've got to do is text us on the Volunteer Ridapest text line, 423-749-1013, and let us know what you think about Joey Aguilar, the start of the season for the Tennessee Volunteers. Do you think he's going to be a good fit? Do you think he's going to be successful? Let us know. We'll read it on air and give our thoughts. Again, the Volunteer Ridapest phone line, 423-749-1013. All you've got to do is just text us in, and we'll interact with you a little bit. It's fun stuff. I like this text line, so definitely want our listeners to utilize it.
You know what's the good thing about this conversation with the Tennessee quarterback? It's basically what the entire college football is dealing with this year. Think about how many programs have a year one guy.
Yeah, a ton of.
I mean, I can rattle off Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, Ohio State, Michigan. Like, you can just keep on going with all these big names that are in the mix every year.
Yeah.
They don't know what they got either.
Oregon, I mean, some perennial powers.
That's where I know that I tend to kind of be a little bit of a hater of these two teams, and I've addressed them both, but that's where you got to be kind of looking at Penn State and LSU saying, hey, these guys might be all right.
Clemson as well.
Clemson.
Yeah,
I mean,
Clemson.
Those three have an advantage. They really do.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Assuming these guys stay healthy and everything. But, you think about this, going back to what you just talked about, the extension of Coach Heupel. That's a big-time thing because let me tell you something. Recruiting, a lot of teams use stuff like this. They'll say, oh, yeah, but I don't know. He's looking at Oklahoma. He may not be in Knoxville. When they do stuff like this, that's a recruiting advantage for Tennessee as well.
And for the university, all that is a nod of faith. Like, listen, we're behind you. We've got your back. You're our guy. We want you here long term. And things like that matter.
Absolutely.
These coaches have agents just like these players do now. And those little things like that kind of pleases your agent a little bit and kind of keeps him off your hide of saying, hey, let's go entertain some jobs. Let's see what we can get, or let's demand more money. It keeps a relationship at a good point. And so that's going to, since we're talking Tennessee already, I'm going to go ahead and lead straight into this. I was going to hold this off for a little bit deeper into the show, but talking about relationships, I want to talk about my relationship with Tennessee fans this year. Clearly, obviously, it's been well stated on the show, I'm a big-time Notre Dame fan. Everyone's aware of that. If you got on our ESPN Cleveland,
but you're from this area. You were born and raised.
I was born in Chattanooga.
Right.
So if you get on our ESPN Cleveland 1013 Facebook page, you can see me in full Notre Dame attire here at the station yesterday. Had a lot of fun with that.
That was fun.
Just because we're fired up about the kickoff of college football season. Jacob got a new license plate with that big old Georgia G on it. Did you see that, Jim?
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in a second too. But you can take this as my declaration to our Vol listeners. I stand with you this year, and I want to make sure that you know, of course, Jacob's our Georgia insider. Jim's our everything insider. If you want to know it, Jim probably knows it and has been there, done that. But I want our Tennessee fans to know that you're going to get my honest opinion about volunteer football this year, but I'm pulling for you guys. I am an ally. So I'm going to submerge myself into the Vol Nation culture, the big orange country culture, and but I'm going to also give you an honest opinion of my take on things as an outsider, but I'm pulling for you guys. I was looking at the schedule, and I've got a little bit of a soft spot for Vandy because they're they're an underdog,
right.
And Diego Pavia makes you guys mad. I understand that, but he's a guy that brings a lot of fire and has an energy around Vandy football for the first time in a long time. So all I'm saying is, Jacob's your Georgia guy. I'm going to be your Tennessee guy. I'm going to have your back. I am your ally.
And I can back him up on that because multiple times I've called him like, hey, I watched this interview today with, Josh Heupel and the team, or hey, I watched Mike Keith. We were just talking about that. I watched the Mike Keith show today during lunch, and he's diving in, folks, and he's going to be very positive, but he's going to give you his honest opinion. So we're super excited to, we want to make sure that you guys are taken care of.
We know our listening audience.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse. This is just my personal opinion. There's nothing worse than listening to a talk show that's nothing but Homer.
Yeah.
Homer, you got to be able to step away and look at it objectively. And I know that Jacob, he's a Georgia guy, but he'll say his when he's mad at Georgia, or Georgia's done wrong, he's going to let you know. You can't sugarcoat everything. You got to be real. It's like your own kids. You want your kids to be perfect, but man, sometimes they get a line, and you got to discipline them. You got to tell them the facts of what's going on. And I think that's the best sports shows are ones where, yeah, you've got to say, yeah, I'm happy for them, but. And then you got to point out the negative. You point out the positive. You point out the negative too. You can't sugarcoat everything.
I got flack from a Georgia fan. I'm not going to say who it was, but I got flack for a Georgia fan for talking about how much better Neyland Stadium was than our place. At the end of the day, I can sit
Just
here
an
and
opinion.
I can be objective.
Georgia's a great atmosphere.
I'm not taking away from how great.
Exactly.
We got up to 134 decibels in a game. We can be really, really loud. I've just been in Knoxville enough to know that there's over 100,000 fans in there, and it's a ruckus environment.
From the time, and it's the little things about Neyland Stadium. Throughout my lifetime, I've been to several games up there, and I've been to several different stadiums across the country. It's hard to argue that there's one better when you factor in all the little things. Jim, you'll remember this when they enclosed that other end of the stadium,
the north end.
The north end. Mm-hmm. When they did that, the fact that a couple of years ago, or might have been last year, they bring back the VOLS sign.
Yeah.
All these signature things that make you think Tennessee football. John Ward, Johnny Majors, Philip Former. You think of that era of Tennessee football. Josh Heupel and his staff and the administration at UT, they've brought those things back. They've really emphasized certain things, like running through the T has always been a cool thing, but when they get those spotlights on it at night, it's more unique and more energetic than it's ever been. So it's pretty hard to argue. I can argue from the side of most historic venues. When you walk into Notre Dame Stadium, you can feel the ghosts around you. It's amazing, but there is nothing. You're talking 101,000 plus people at Neyland Stadium. It's hard to compete with that. I know our Michigan listeners might argue that, and that's one of the few venues. Our Ohio State listeners might argue one of the few venues, along with maybe Penn State, that can really say it's kind of a top 4, top 5 battle.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, here's the one thing about Neyland Stadium that I think a lot of people don't realize is that there's a lot more steel in the construction of the upper deck at Neyland Stadium than the upper deck at Sanford Stadium or Ohio Stadium. Of course, Michigan doesn't even have an upper deck. So when you got a lot more steel, noise will reverberate off of it a little bit more. And I think that helps the sound stay. Plus, the upper deck at Neyland Stadium, there's not like a club suite in between. So the upper deck at Neyland Stadium is closer to the bottom. Now, you got the club suites in those two big towers on each sideline. And I think that helps. But I think the architecture of Neyland Stadium has a lot to do with the reason the noise there just seems to reverberate, and it seems louder there. I think a lot has to do with that.
I also, a big point for me, and it's something that I've really thought about recently, it's the fan base itself as well. Alabama and Tennessee have pretty similar numbers-wise. It's not too far off. The difference is Alabama's fans have gotten kind of spoiled, and they're not into games like they used to be. Tennessee is a blue-collar fan base.
They're hungry.
That is hungry for wins, and it's a staple when you go there. You are going to be annoyed. You are going to be frustrated. You're not going to enjoy your experience here. We are. You're gonna have to hear Rocky Top 37 times.
No, like 39.
Yeah, you're gonna hear it, and you're gonna hear us screaming it to the top of our lungs. It's the fan base that also makes it for me. They are a very blue collar. We are going to stand the entire game. I'm gonna go sit by some big sweaty dude for 4 hours and yell our lungs off and give each other high fives. That's just kind of what you're walking into.
Yeah, once again, we want to know what's your favorite part, you Tennessee fans, your favorite part of Neyland Stadium, the Saturday atmosphere up there in Knoxville, along with what are your thoughts on Joey Aguilar as your starting quarterback. We want you to text us on the Volunteer Ridipest text line, 423-749-1013. That's 423-749-1013.
And listen, we've all been to ball games, and every one of us has experienced this. You stand up, and is there someone behind you? Sit down. I can't see. That drives you crazy. I'm like, listen, man, I'm sorry. I'm excited. I'm getting up. You're going to have to get up, or I'm not going to sit down because you can't see. You need to stand up. That's going to, and that happens everywhere.
Listen, it's no different. It's no different. You have to stay on your feet. You have to stand. It's no different than a Taylor Swift concert.
Speaking of Taylor,
The big sporting news today: Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce announced
Adam Schefter breaking that news,
announced their engagement.
They're in their engagement era. You know, it's a new era of the NFL. And here's the thing. I'm almost willing to bet my savings account that she's doing the Super Bowl. I know I've said
Super Bowl 60.
I know I've told y'all, but y'all know I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Yes,
We've talked about this.
Yes, you are.
But like with her, you know, she drops this stuff on purpose.
I'm so over it though.
I am
I'm
too.
not gonna lie.
Here's the thing though. I feel like we're ending the ending chapter of this. If she performs at the Super Bowl, I think he retires. They get married, and we move on.
No, this is what's going to happen. He is going to retire. A lot of people are insinuating this is going to be Travis Kelce's last year as a player. He's going to be in a booth somewhere. He's going to remain relevant because, first of all, he's one of those personalities. He likes the attention, and obviously who he's with, they get plenty of it. But whenever they're expecting their first child, there's going to be more on that. That's going to be a big deal. Like this is never ending.
No,
there's no end in sight.
There is. This book is coming to an end. Will there be some like little shows about it, and like will there be some clips of it? Sure, but like the chapter book that we've been suffering through in the NFL with her being on the screen every week and us talking about it here, I feel like it's coming to a close, and I feel like the Super Bowl is the last chapter, and then they walk off into the sunset and go to Disney World or something. I don't know.
This is America's version of the royal wedding. I have a feeling this will be such a this if they don't want a private wedding. It could break every record as far as eyeballs on a televised event if they televise this thing. I'm telling you, I don't know. Maybe they'll do something different. Maybe they'll want a private wedding, but I could see them televising this thing. And could you imagine if the Swifties and all of the allegiance toward Taylor Swift, and they have a way to, let's say, a pay-per-view thing on this wedding? How many people would watch this thing? Now, I personally am not interested, but I'm telling you, it's almost like a cult. Taylor Swift and her Swift.
Jacob Mason's a part of it, apparently.
Can we talk about something?
Sure.
My wife has not listened to this show not one time. Not one time this summer. She may turn it on for a second in the car to let my son hear, but the day that Taylor Swift gets engaged, she's all of a sudden a listener and texting our volunteer Ridipes text line about my knowledge of Taylor Swift. This is what I'm talking about. This chapter has to end.
But do you
close.
See what it's done? It's brought someone like your wife. It's got her attention to the fact that, you know what, she might normally kind of avoid the NFL, avoid Travis Kelce, but it has brought that spectrum of people over to sports talk shows to view NFL games when Taylor's in a box somewhere and they're going to put the camera on her 59 times in a football game. Like it really has. I completely understand a boost of ratings and them kind of milking this thing till it's dry.
I'm a Raiders fan though, and having her wear Travis Kelce stuff, it like makes me want to jump through my window.
So time out. Let's rewind for just a second. So your wife does wear Travis Kelce stuff.
She wore a shirt on the Super Bowl that said "Go Taylor's Boyfriend" with an 87 on it. It makes me want to like crash out. You want to talk about crash out on the drive? You're about to hear one.
Here's a big question: will she keep her name as is? Will she go Taylor Swift Kelce, or will she go all the way Taylor Kelce?
She's keeping Swift. She's not changing that.
You think she'll do a hyphen?
No.
Nah, she's Taylor Swift, bro.
Yeah.
She's Taylor Swift. Honestly, it may be Travis Swift after it's all said and done.
He's gonna change his last name.
Like, I mean, let's be real. She's the pop star.
Taylor Kelce, man, that has a nice ring to it, man. I mean, the Taylor Swift fans are going nuts.
They are, and I'm glad they've got their spotlight in sports.
Hey, I want to get back to some volunteer stuff. We're doing our Vols 25 giveaway presented by USS. We're giving away tickets to Vols road games every Monday. games at Mississippi State, Alabama, Kentucky, Florida, and, of course, the kickoff game against Syracuse down in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium this weekend. All you've got to do to register is go to the ESPN Cleveland 1013 Facebook page and let us know, message us on there, or on the Volunteer Rid-A-Pest text line, 423-749-1013. Text that you want to be a part of Vols 25, and make sure you put your name.
That's right, man. We got a lot of good stuff we're giving away this year. And, man, I mean, how fun would it be to go down to that Mercedes-Benz Stadium and watch that Tennessee-Syracuse game? Unfortunately, we're not eligible.
Hey, one thing that I heard today as I was doing my Tennessee studying and research is 1998, do you know who the Vols played to kick off that season that they won the national title?
Syracuse.
They opened with the Syracuse Orangemen. So that's
it was the Orangemen back there. It's just orange now.
So they dropped men, huh?
Yeah, because that's that was an Indian tribe named Orangemen. So now it's just
I just
orange.
remember the big orange mascot guy.
Syracuse orange now. They dropped Orangemen.
It's good to know.
Got to be politically correct, man.
Some of us do, not everybody, Jim. But I will say this. I was doing that studying today, learning about the Volunteers a little bit, and I really do think that this could be a sneaky season for the Vols in the SEC. They could sneak up on some people. They're being overlooked, and definitely a lot of fun to talk about it here on The Drive. But, hey, when we come back, we're going to do some Atlanta Braves coverage, and, of course, at 5:40, we're going to have Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins join the show. All that when we come back right here on ESPN Cleveland 1013.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
This is John Davis, the trading man at Kia Cleveland, and that's the sound of progress. We're under construction, and we're hammering out the best deals in the car business. Your price, your trade, and your credit will not be a problem. Bring us any trade in any condition, and we'll give you $7,000 over Kelly Blue Book fair market value toward the purchase of any new Kia in our giant inventory. Yes, $7,000 more than your trade is worth. Is your credit less than perfect? That's okay. At Kia Cleveland, our lenders will say yes to you and yes to your situation. Remember, we'll be any deal from anywhere in Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama. So, if you want $7,000 over Kelly Blue Book fair market value for your trade, come see me, John Davis, at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where trading your car is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Looking for the dealer who's gonna give you more. Kia of Cleveland Superstore.
Offer subject to lender approval. Expires month end.
KiaofCleveland.com.
Now at Hardees, 2 hand-breaded chicken tender wraps are only $5. Mix and match your favorite flavors like buttermilk ranch, honey mustard, and spicy. Endless combinations start with 2 warm tortillas, each filled with 100% white meat, juicy on the inside, crispy on the outside, hand-breaded chicken tenders. Any 2 wraps, now just $5. Hardees, goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant for details.
Listen to the Alon Exchange, hosted by financial professionals Jay and Brittany Hagee, owners of Alon Planning Partners. Each week they discuss all things financial and answer your questions about investing, preparing for retirement, paying down debt, and more. The Alon Exchange, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on ESPN Cleveland 1013.
Rock City and Ruby Falls are fun, but have you been down the Ocoee, camped at Harrison Bay, or on top of Fort Mountain? We are blessed with beautiful adventures all around us, and Honda Cleveland has the Honda to take you there. Hurry in for $5,000 off your choice of 25 Accord or CRV Hybrid. $5,000 off. Or choose 2.99% financing on Accord and CRV Hybrid. Either way, you'll see why KBB.com has named Honda America's best value brand. You can saddle up a new Ridgeline pickup too with financing as low as 0.99% for 60 months, and that'll save you hundreds in financing. Or if you need service, parts, and tires, at Honda Cleveland you can get the work done now and pay over time with up to 3 months interest-free, with no hard credit check and a 90% approval rate. You've got some exploring to do, and we've got your ticket to ride. Honda Cleveland, your car, your way, every day. I-75 exit 20, 1 mile east. Hope to see you soon.
Do you suffer from unsightly leg veins? Are your legs turning brown or swelling? Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Do you have restless legs or leg cramps disturbing your sleep? These symptoms are signs of bad veins. Dr. James Gooden at Milligan Vein offers an office treatment that can make you look and feel better, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Find more information online at milliganvein.com or call Dr. Gooden today at 423-961-5682 and get rid of those bad veins.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
For over 100 years, Mayfield Dairy has been delivering farm fresh dairy beloved by Southern families. In 1983, Mayfield introduced its iconic yellow jug. The new opaque jug helps block harmful light rays, protecting the flavor and nutrients in milk. Learn more about Mayfield today at mayfielddairy.com.
Of course, Mayfield Dairy, big time sponsors here, the Atlanta Braves on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. And we've got some news coming out of Atlanta. First of all, Chris Sale scheduled to start Saturday in Game 3 of that Philly series. So that's in the future of the Atlanta Braves, getting Chris Sale back in that rotation as he's healing up from that rib injury that took place when he made that awesome diving catch.
Yep.
Back, it's been about a month ago.
It has been about a month. Of course, Zach Wheeler's out for the rest of the year for Philly.
Yeah, that's a shame. Seeing these elite pitchers go down is not good for the game. But at least with Chris Sale, it's not a Tommy John issue.
Right.
Those are the toughest. We've seen the whole rotation of the Atlanta Braves this year. It feels like it went down with some type of elbow injury. But also in news, Major League Baseball released their 2026 schedules today, and the Braves will open the season at home versus Kansas City, followed by the Athletics. And who knows? They may still be the Sacramento Athletics.
Well, they will. That stadium not could be ready then.
You never know though with the Athletics.
That's true.
They could be the San Jose Athletics by that time next year. But and the way the Braves revealed their schedule was really neat. For any Braves fan that's interested, you can go to the Braves Facebook page. You can get on YouTube at the Atlanta Braves page, and Jesse Chavez is how they announced. They used him, and he has a hat shop, and Peter Moreland goes into his hat shop. Of course, you know, Jesse Chavez, well known for the fedoras and all the different hats that he wears with the feathers and the ribbons around him and everything. Right, it's really neat. But each hat represented a series, color scheme wise, and that's kind of how they revealed the Braves schedule for next year. So if you're a big time Braves fan, definitely check that out. Yesterday, the Braves dropped Game 1 of the 3-game set down in Miami 2-1 in front of a whopping crowd of 8,111 fans. That's a big crowd in Miami.
How do they keep a franchise?
I don't know.
You know, they cannot possibly be making a profit.
There's no way.
I mean, and of course their payroll's so minuscule. Maybe they are. Maybe they are.
That's probably why.
Exactly.
But Spencer Strider looked much better, but didn't get the offensive support that he needed. Of course, 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts is a much better line. Seeing him go 7 innings, first of all, was huge. That's big time. Seeing him have that confidence, though, you can tell after his pitch delivery, the kind of swagger that he has moving on the mound. He has not had that his last couple starts. Last night, you could tell that was there. Unfortunately, did not get any offensive production. Atlanta held to only 3 hits. Talk about a guy who was on his game. Edward Cabrera only allowed 1 hit, the starter for the Marlins last night, and then a couple of relievers came in and allowed the other 2. But Drake Baldwin, the only score for the Braves, had a home run in the 9th inning with 2 outs. Yeah. And that literally that's all she wrote for the Braves offense. So tonight, Braves currently 59-72, 4th in the National League East. Not going to pay attention to division standings anymore, but the Braves 11 games back in that wild card, trying to play spoiler for those other teams, realistically speaking. They're on the road down there, of course, in the 305, set to take on the Marlins, who are currently in 3rd place. Braves trying to track them down a little bit. For Game 2 of this series, the final series between the Braves and Marlins this year, Hurston Waldrop on the mound. He's 4-0 with a 0.73 ERA. Talk about a guy who's shown up for the Atlanta Braves here over the past month and a half. It's been Hurston Waldrop.
You know, we talked about it at the All-Star break. We said, hey, the Braves have really got to get on the run in the second half. Got to get to the 90-win mark. That's probably the threshold. The Braves would have to go undefeated the rest of the season to get the 90 wins with the 72 losses. It just goes to show you what kind of a tremendous second half they would have had just to get there. And now the best they can do would be 90. So, yeah, like you said, the Braves are playing spoiler right now.
Absolutely. Sandy Alcantara on the mound for the Marlins. He's 7-11 with a 6.04 ERA. First pitch is at 6:40 on Mix 104.1 and pre- and post-game coverage right here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland.
Did you see the Braves drop their schedule today for next year?
We were just talking about that.
Oh, I was over here looking at it. My bad.
Go back to sleep, Jacob.
Yeah, I was over here looking at it. But opening up in Kansas City, I think that would be you can tell that I was over here digging through my phone.
It's not.
I was trying to find it.
They are opening in Atlanta against Kansas City. And they did the whole reveal with Jesse Chavez. That's how they announced their schedule.
Yeah, see, I was over here looking for the schedule, and that's my bad.
Welcome back to the show, Jacob.
I'm back here. I'm back on it.
Hey, so obviously did a lot of Tennessee coverage there in our first segment. Talking some college football, and definitely want our listeners' opinion on Joey Aguilar. Getting some texts rolling in here, some positive ones saying Joey's the man. We want you to text in the Volunteer Ritapest text line 423-749-1013.
And listen, I don't want people to think that I'm anti and I don't believe in him. I've never seen this guy play. I didn't watch any Appalachian State football. Yeah, I've watched a couple highlights. But highlights is one thing. Watching an entire game is another thing. So, I mean, I'm like one of these, I got to see it before I'm going to buy into it. There's a reason he went to Appalachian State. And there's a reason that Nico Iamaleava went to Tennessee as the number 2 quarterback behind only Manning in coming out of high school. Yeah, I know that the rankings can be off and they can be skewed and everything. We all understand that. But why was Aguilar not more highly recruited when he came out of high school? And maybe he's improved a lot since then. And so that's my thing. Is I just got to wait till I watch this guy play against big time competition.
You saying that though, my mind immediately. Do you know where my mind went?
Well, there's been
to Cam Ward and Diego Pavia.
Exactly, it's happened.
Those guys were playing JUCO football.
Absolutely.
And so this is one thing. Just from what I've seen in the past week.
Stetson Bennett, you know. Yeah.
Yes, what I've seen in the past week coming out of fall camp from the beat writers, from all the media outlets. Jacob is just on his game today.
I'm struggling over here. I've hit the mic. I've fallen asleep.
By the way, that was his head hit the mic a minute ago.
He still can't see, my gosh.
I get my glasses next week.
So back to Joey Aguilar. All the positive talk that's going on around him right now, I'm buying into it because I was where you were, Jim, a couple of weeks ago. I was in the exact same place. I was like, this guy's got a short off season. He's learning the playbook. But I'm hearing all these things about him going over to Josh Heupel's house in the evening when everyone's packed up at home doing whatever they're doing. He's with Coach Heupel watching film. And I'm listening to all these beat writers who are typically some of the first ones to be negative and say, this is what's going on. Everyone is so high on Joey Aguilar. His teammates are high. I feel like this has been the perfect scenario for Tennessee.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Like I said, by the way, did you see where Hendon Hooker was released by the Lions today?
Detroit Lions. And
that one surprised me, to be honest with you.
Did you hear Dan Campbell said that he feels like he just needs a fresh start somewhere because he's got faith in him. He knows he's a good quarterback. So a potential landing spot, you look at Tennessee, the Titans, you've got your rookie first-year quaradback, and then what do you have after that? You got Will Levis.
The New Orleans Saints would be a perfect place for him to go.
But Will Levis is out for the year, so that adds depth to a quarterback room up in Tennessee potentially, or New Orleans, as you said.
Yeah, we got a text from somebody on the text line that says Merkwinger is the starter by year's end. Hey, make sure you give us your name. We'll give you a shout out on the radio when you text in. Give us your name. We'll say it.
I've said the same thing. I agree with that text.
Yeah, so we will see. We'll see. That's the thing. That's where half of college football is right now. We have no idea.
Or McIntyre.
Yeah, we have no idea who's going to be the starters.
So the biggest thing, looking at Tennessee's schedule, starting off with Syracuse, that's a big one. If he can clear that hurdle, if Joey Aguilar starting against Syracuse gets the win in that game and plays decently, I think it's his job for the next 5, 6, 7 weeks going through Arkansas. Going into that Alabama game on October 18th is your next true test.
What about Georgia is on the 13th?
I skipped that Georgia game. That's the third game of the year.
Something tells me Georgia's going to have something to say about the success of him.
Okay, Lord, Stephen Shelton. So that's who texted us. He said Stephen Ray Shelton.
That's awesome. I love it. So the Georgia game is one that throw it out of the window. I'm not factoring that into what Joey Aguilar is to this team. That's one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, and that's only the third game of the season.
Yes,
It'd be hard to really put a lot into.
So what my point was, you get through the Syracuse, ETSU, Georgia is what it is, UAB, Mississippi State, Arkansas. If you're through those games and maybe outside of Georgia you drop one of them.
You're 4-1.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about Joey Aguilar losing that job. Going into that Alabama game.
It'll be 5-1. 5-1.
Yeah. Going into that Alabama game, though, is one where, you know what? Let's see where they're at. If they've got 2 losses going in that game and he struggles, then I could see that. I could see them going to Merklinger. I could see it. But I think he's got this job on lock. I think it's his.
Yeah. While we're talking some college football, I got an Ohio State question for my friend Jim. Why is Ohio State barring Dave Portnoy from the stadium?
It's actually Fox.
No.
Because
they can't. Fox cannot come out and say that that's a lie because Ohio State's a big player.
Okay, let me.
But they banned his show. Ohio State said that.
The Barstool. Yeah, I know that.
Right, and then now Dave Portnoy all of a sudden can't step in. There's no coincidence there.
But Fox, if you ever watch Fox and they do their pregame show, they have like 6 or 7 guys out there. But when they move it into the stadium, they only got like 3 guys. And they've always done that.
Yeah.
They've got a real small set. They put about 3 guys in there for the in-stadium set.
For the big noon
kickoff. And Portnoy's not what they call one of the main guys. He's a contributor. He's a contributor, extra guy there. That's the reason. I mean, and listen, if Fox does this all season and Portnoy doesn't go in the stadium in any other place, is it going to still be because of Ohio State?
But you still did ban Barstool Show from campus.
There's some issues there with Portnoy. He's been a real troll at Ohio State for years, and they have all the right to ban
my understanding
the Barstool people.
My understanding on this situation, though, just reading the little bit that I was able to read as we came into the show today here at the studio, was that Fox didn't have plans for him in the stadium to necessarily be on the show unless they brought him on, but Ohio State said they would not allow it. That was my understanding from what I read.
I've read that he's not banned from the stadium.
The AD, because there was a lot of pushback.
I thought this was a little red on blue crime.
The AD came out and said, we did not ban him from the stadium, and Fox is not going to dispute that because at the end of the day, like, Ohio State's a big player and is a big moneymaker for Fox. That's not going to be about. So Dave Portnoy, he came out and he basically made a statement. And he goes, I don't want to stir the nest because, like, I want a good relationship with Fox. He goes, but stop being soft.
Well, that's Portnoy being Portnoy. I mean, that's who he is.
If that's what you got for him, you lucked out because usually he's a little bit more vulgar than that.
Hey, just give him time.
As we're getting ready to go into a break here, and of course we're going to have Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins on with us here shortly. I want to revisit something that we talked about a few weeks ago because we're all getting that itch. I came in full uniform, for God's sake, yesterday.
He did.
We're all getting that itch to where we're just ready. The weather's contributed this week. Beautiful weather outside, by the way. But we've got all these things flowing in that direction. We got a little taste with Farmageddon over there in Ireland. Yeah, that's kind of weird to say, Farmageddon in Ireland.
See the lines on the field, but that's another story.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But I'm so ready to wake up on Saturday and watch Lee Corso, which the more we get closer to that, I'm kind of dreading it because I don't want to lose that. I love what Lee Corso brings to College Game Day and the headgear and all that. And listen, there's an end to everything. Everything good will end at some point.
Yep, that's right.
But that's the one thing I'm kind of dreading because I don't want to miss that, and I know I'm going to. But I'm thinking about the things that I typically do leading up. One thing in my house that we do every year, like I'm going to sit down with my kids and I'm going to watch Rudy. I watch it once before the season starts and it kind of gets me in my feels a little bit.
Movie.
So is there anything specific, not just game day related to like making food and things, but is there anything specific that you do, Jim, for Ohio State, or you, Jacob, for Georgia, just to kind of get you mentally locked in for your season?
I watch some old games. Like I have everything recorded on YouTube TV. So like I'll pull up like big moments. I love the intro. Like every time Georgia plays a game, they have the same intro video that plays. I'll listen to that. I love listening to the band stuff on my phone. Like there's
Fight songs.
Yeah, the
and
fight
whatnot.
songs.
I do that.
That kind of stuff. But really, the big one for me, and you've experienced this. On Fridays, I start wearing like team gear. So like this Friday, I will be repping the Dogs with my black, silver, and red Jordans, and I'm excited to kick the year off. There's a hat that I wear. I can't read what it says on the radio. You might have some people comment to me, but like that hat started out white and it's now brown, and it's about to make its way back out of the closet. It'll be worn on Saturdays again, so I'm super excited.
I pull my gear out too. It's usually a attire. That's the biggest thing for me. I'm not real superstitious, but I mean I do wear. I'll get something new this year. I don't know what just yet, but I've got several polos that I wear, and I've got other stuff that I put T-shirts and hats and stuff like that. So that's pretty much my thing.
Well, that's one thing as I'm listening to you guys tell the things you kind of do. Another thing that we do as a family, we take a family portrait, all of us in our Notre Dame gear we have the Play Like a Champion Today sign. Mm-hmm. And we were informed yesterday, Lauren, my beautiful wife Lauren and I were informed yesterday by our son, our oldest, Maddox, that he was going to wear a Tennessee jersey in our picture this year.
That's tough, man.
He's a Vol fan. He's bought in. He's all about it. And so little internal conflict there. And I told him, I said, you know what? I'll be accepting of it. He said, and last year during the playoff, he was on board. Once Tennessee was eliminated, he was pulling for the Irish. And I said, listen, I'm okay with that. Like if you want to jump on board now, that's fine. We'll have fun with it. And but he said, hey, once. I'm always going to pull for the Irish, but I'm a Tennessee fan. And I said, hey, you know what? Your grandparents are Tennessee fans. I'm okay with that. That's where you want to be.
I bet he just loves Ohio State after the playoffs last year.
Exactly. But he did say that he might entertain putting his Irish shirt. He's got tons of Irish stuff that he might for that family portrait. That's something we really enjoy doing. But, hey, got another text here from Stephen Shelton, who obviously is always tuning in and listening to us. So we appreciate everything Stephen does for the show here. But he said Tennessee will never ban Barstool or Pat McAfee, and Ohio State are punks. Stephen Shelton trying to fire Jim up. I'm here for it.
I think it's hilarious. I love it. Stuff like that does not bother me.
It's that time of year, man.
Hey,
It doesn't.
I know we got to go to break so we can get Coach Akins on. But if we have time, man, I want to dive into the whole 9-game schedule stuff since we're talking some Big Ten, SEC. Like I've got a hot take on that with something that I feel like the Big Ten did this summer. And if we have to save that for tomorrow, we can save that. But we need to catch a break here so we can get Coach Akins on to recap last week and talk about this week's upcoming big game.
Well, as far as that goes, I want to be the team that gets to play Mississippi State, Arkansas, and Missouri every year. Who's that team? You're hitting the lottery.
For sure.
Hey, you're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit. Split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
When competition is fierce, sports injuries happen, and Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Saturday sports clinics are available at our Chattanooga and Cleveland offices from August 23rd through November 8th for the treatment of non-emergency orthopedic injuries like sprains, strains, and fractures. Doors open at 9 a.m., no appointment needed to be seen by our highly trained physicians and clinical staff. Saturday sports clinic dates are subject to change. Check sportmed.com for the latest information. That's sportmed.com.
Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Dr. James Gooden at Milligan Vein offers an office treatment that can make you look and feel better, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Visit milliganvein.com or call Dr. Gooden today at 423-961-5682.
Whirlpool Cleveland is currently hiring for entry-level production roles. Starting pay $18.25 per hour, jumps to $19.35 per hour after 90 days. Benefits start on day one, including medical, dental, vision, 401k, life insurance, and more. 120 total hours of paid time off. 10 hours the first 3 months. Remaining balance after 90 days. Apply at jobs.whirlpool.com. Jobs.whirlpool.com. City Scope Magazine 2025 High School Football Collectors Edition. Your inside look at 41 teams. Team profiles, coaches' comments, stats, schedules, rosters, and game day pictures. See legendary teams, football fanatic families, and a lot more. Look for the Golden Football. Win $500 for your school. $500 for your school. Purchase a copy from your school booster clubs. All proceeds go to schools. City Scope Magazine High School Football Collectors Edition. Don't miss it. Help support your school.
ESPN Cleveland 101.3 is powered by Duracell. When you need a new roof, it's all about trust. Your home is too big an investment and you can't afford to make a mistake. Cleveland Plywood has the products and expertise you're looking for. Contractors have trusted them for over 50 years, and they carry only proven products from reputable suppliers like IKO. IKO Cambridge is one of the heaviest weight asphalt shingles you can buy, and their limited warranties are among the industry's best. Protect the investment you've made in your home. Go with the pros at Cleveland Plywood. 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Call 472-3357. Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. Duracell in Cleveland is now hiring mechanical skilled technicians, $22 an hour to $27 an hour. Excellent benefits beginning on day one. Medical, dental, vision insurance, paid vacation, holiday pay, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply now at Duracell.com. That's Duracell.com. And with that, we are kicking it over to our high school football coverage presented by Food City. And we've got Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins on the line with us. Coach, how you doing?
Hey, man, doing good. How are y'all?
Doing well, and it seems like Jacob and I just saw you as we're going to start every show on Tuesdays because we filmed your coach's show today that's going to be posted on our WCLE YouTube page later on this week. But I want to point something out. Coming off of a big win over at Benny Monroe Stadium last week over Cleveland 28-3, it seems like, and this is just one of the luxuries that I have, but the mentality of the football players in the hall is back to business.
Yeah, listen, I think our guys understand just kind of the expectations that are around this team, kind of the potential that this team has, and understand that, you know, it was good to get a win to start the season, but each week it's more important than the last one. And it's not more important because of who we're playing. It's just more important because it's the next one on the list. And our guys have done a really good job of buying into that. And it's every week right now, every day seems like a business trip. Every day we're walking out to the field feels that way. So we're really excited about our mentality and our culture right now. We just got to keep that going.
Coach, we all know the guys that, you know, had really big stats against Cleveland, but was there anybody that maybe we didn't put a lot of emphasis on that you looked at the film and you go, this guy really had a good game, that maybe behind the scenes that we didn't notice?
Oh, man, that's hard. I mean, I think one guy, especially on defense, that I'm not sure how much we talked about. I know we didn't talk about it after the game, but Jonathan West played an incredible game. You know, opened up the night from the jump, being able to force a fumble and really got us started out on a great foot by forcing that fumble, gave the ball to our offense in short field, and we were able to take it from there and jump out to a quick lead. But he was the one that was kind of the catalyst for that. I think when you look through his stat line, I mean, his stat line was absolutely crazy. He had, I believe he had 2 tackles, 1 assist. He had 3 pressures. He had 2 tackles for loss. He had a forced fumble. I mean, he had 23 bonus points. And bonus points for us defensively are just guys that just kind of wreaked havoc and really made an impact on the win. So he was a name that I would say defensively. I think the guy on the offense that really made us go and made really, as you watch the film, so many big-time plays was Sawyer Boyd. You know, he had two to three run-back catches that were really, really great decisions on choice routes. He had a big third down catch over the middle. I thought he played a really good game, and it gave our offense chances to stay on the field throughout the game.
Coach, one of the things we've talked about on the show a lot this week is growth between week 1 and week 2, and you know how most teams see the most growth in those weeks. What's been your point of emphasis this week with your team?
Yeah, here's the interesting thing about that, and I agree. You know, I think we had really good growth, but I think the growth has happened a little bit for us. You know, we did that preseason game against Farragut, and that preseason game gives us a true game 1, even though we're not into game 1. So it actually feels like we're playing game 3, even though we're only on week 2. So I think we were really focused coming into last week, specifically on being able to be more disciplined on offense and create, finishing drives offensively. And I think defensively, we were focused on just energy and effort. Our guys defensively kind of thrive off playing with a high motor, high energy, and I thought we did a really good job of doing that on Friday night. So our Thursday night. So really excited to see the growth in those 2 areas continue. But ultimately, we're lucky in the fact that we kind of feel like we're on game 3, even though we're on game 2.
Coach, obviously Roman Yulo scoring all 4 touchdowns in the game last Thursday, had a big night, 3 rushing touchdowns and 1 receiving touchdown. And we've talked about how you use him in unique ways just to make sure you get the ball in his hands. Let our listeners know just how important Roman Yulo is to this team.
Yeah, Roman is it can't be overstated how important he is to the things we do. You know, we move him around a lot. We're trying to find different ways to get him the ball, whether it be, snapping it directly to him, putting him out at different receiver positions, cutting across the field, even at Y-back. So many different ways that we're able to get him the ball. So it's a really unique player. Thankfully, he's really intelligent, so we're able to do those things. We can pretty much ask him to do anything, and he can learn it pretty quickly. So he's pretty unique, and it makes it really fun to call plays when he's out there.
Coach, what about Bradley Central? You looking at the film there? What stands out when you watch that film?
Yeah, I think their athleticism. I mean, they're a really athletic team. When you look at their ability to create explosive plays, I think they scored several different ways. The other night, just on explosive plays with vertical balls and kickoff returns and all kinds of different things when it comes to those type plays. I think up front, you look at them and their D-line is really talented. They create a lot of havoc. Even against a great offensive line like McMinn, they were in the backfield a lot throughout the game. So, I think our focus has to become, making sure that we understand our assignments and that we're doing our assignments every single play.
Coach, if you could pick Ole Miss's 3 rivals now that they've rescheduled everything, who would the 3 be?
And we've got to let our listeners know, head coach of the Walker Valley Mustangs, Drew Akins, big-time Ole Miss Rebels fan.
So ask the question again.
If you could pick the 3 teams that they play every year, now that they've rescheduled, the 9 games for Ole Miss.
The in-conference locked 3 games.
Who would the 3 be?
I got you. Well, obviously you have to keep Ole Miss the Sioux State. It's Egg Bowl. It's been very storied as one of the nastiest rivalries in the country. So I think you have to keep that one. Honestly, LSU has become a really big rivalry game on our side. I'm not sure LSU thinks of us that way, like we think of them. But I do think that's a rivalry game for us, and it's become a game that's been a swing game the last few years. 2 years ago, we beat them with Jaden Daniels, and it kept them out of the playoffs, and it gave us 10 wins. Last year, they beat us, and it kept us out of the playoffs and kept us at 9 wins. So that's been a game that's been really critical for both teams.
So we've got Mississippi State and LSU, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Need
and
one
then
more.
I think the last one, if you're asking me to choose it, I'm going to choose Vanderbilt because I would love to have that win on the schedule. I know they're getting
No
better.
respect for the Commodores.
I was about to say, give Coach all the smoke, and then he goes to Vandy.
I love it,
I mean,
man.
I'm obviously going to pick that, but I think Arkansas has been a great rivalry. But yeah, I mean, our crossover. The reason I say that, our crossover for years was automatically Vandy. So
That's true.
when there was East and West, Ole Miss's crossover was Vandy. So if I could have that back, I would take it tomorrow for sure.
All right, Coach, man. We appreciate your time, man. Good luck this Friday night.
Hey, guys, always appreciate you. Always fun having conversation with you, man. We got to bring some more, off-the-wall conversation. I like those better than
No doubt.
than talking. I'll talk any wide range of things. So let's throw some off-the-wall questions next week. I'm expecting it.
Hey, we'll definitely make it happen, Coach.
Hey, guys, I really appreciate you. Thank you for the support for county schools. Not every county does what y'all do, and I'm really thankful for it.
Absolutely. Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins here on the drive with us. And, of course, this weekend, the Walker Valley Mustangs are hosting the Bradley Central Bears, the now number 5 ranked in Class 5A Walker Valley Mustangs.
You just read my mind. I was going to say the number 5 ranked, which when we were doing the game, I said, hey, I think they'll move up to 6 or 7. Well, they're 5.
Yeah, moving.
Jacob making a motion over here,
Bro,
I don't know all these
I work
names.
in a middle school, 6, 7. I had to.
Hey, so Walker Valley moving up to number 5, hosting Bradley over at the MAC, 7 p.m. kickoff. And Coach Akins, one thing that we talked about with him today earlier is just all the good things that are happening at Walker Valley as far as the stadium. They've upgraded the stadium. They've got more visiting seating.
They needed to do that.
Yes, they did. They've doubled the seating on the away side, which is a huge deal, and it adds a little bit more of a big-time look to it, I'm going to be honest. And just everything around, they did some work on the field house. They completely painted it, and it looks almost like a different place, but it's got a good feel for a Friday night, and we're excited to be there to call the game next week, or this Friday, excuse me.
Charleston night as well. That's one big thing that Coach Akins and Walker Valley have really pushed is giving the Charleston fan base a home, after the school moved up to Walker Valley. So Charleston night, obviously Bradley, it's going to be a big night of football up there at the MAC.
Any chance we're going to see the alternate uniforms?
So he told us that the kids get to choose.
Is it like a surprise when it's going to happen, or will they announce it ahead of time?
I don't think if they do announce it, it'll be a social media type reveal. But I think it's going to be one of those things that they're going to bust them out, and we're just going to see them. I think that's kind of the angle they're going with it. But I know that if there's a game to do it in,
that's what I was.
Are they going to pull like a Georgia back in 2007?
Warm up in
the navies and then come out and
that's what Notre Dame in '77 did.
Yeah.
Well, they actually did it at halftime. They came out after halftime and had on a different uniform.
Can you do that?
You used to. I don't know if you can anymore. But
I don't remember. I thought it was pre-game warm up against 1977. I thought it was pre-game. They came out in the blues and they came out in the green in '77. Maybe
you may be right because there were a couple instances where they did. I think it was Lou Holtz that during his era they changed at halftime.
Yeah, that was Dan Devine. That brought the uniforms out in '77. I love stuff like that. But is it Georgia that wore the one-time uniform and they looked really. I can't remember what it was. They lost, and they have not worn them since.
Are you talking about the one-time Nike spinoff when they played Boise State? It was like basically the NFL's Color Rush.
Yeah. I don't know if that was it. It seemed like that Georgia did something in one game they lost, and they have not worn it since. I thought
No,
it was a good look.
they wear black, and they've worn it since they lost in black. The last time they lost in black was against Alabama at home, and Alabama kicked our teeth in. I mean, it was like 33-3 at halftime. But then they've worn it like sparingly. It is funny to me that like the recruits wear the black jersey and like all that stuff, but we never really wear them. It's interesting that it's even a part of like our.
I'm a big fan of the alternate uniform, so who knows? Might see the Mustangs bust those out. We didn't ask Coach Akins that. He probably would not have answered us if we did ask it. Well, hey, listen, another quick show today. These shows are flying by with all this football content we're covering. But hey, for Jim, Jacob, I'm Andy. Appreciate you guys joining us. Make sure you join us every day, Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock, right here on The Drive on ESPN Cleveland. Have a great day, everybody.
It's time for a Don Ledford of Cleveland traffic update on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Don Ledford Chevrolet Buick GMC, located on North Lee Highway in Cleveland. Or visit donledford.com for details. Don Ledford, where we say yes. It's on-time traffic with Commander Chuck.
Good afternoon. Traffic's building even more so now with volume on 75 over White Oak Mountain. Continue